Hey, Party Animal Nation, it's hashtag RDM Russell Devin McLean, and I want to tell you about one of our new sponsors before we get started with this episode. Audible.com. Audible is the internet's leading brand in audiobooks, and I have an exclusive offer for all of you listening. You can get a 30-day free subscription and a free download by heading over to audibletrial.com/The Radio Random Network. Go check it out. They are sure to have something for everybody.
Blueberry. This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
It's October 15th. It's 2014. I'm hashtag RDM. Welcome to Radio Random Wednesday. Joining me today, very special guest from the Hillbilly Horror Show. He's also been featured in Remember the Titans and also Black Dog, featuring the late, great Patrick Swayze. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Bo Keister. Now, I've shared a few stories with Bo, and I got to say, this is probably by far one of my most favorite interviews I've ever done. And I want to thank Bo for coming on. I'd like to send a shout out to Mr. Clint Morris in the October Coast Game for hooking this up for us. I also want to say thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing. For more information, you can go to rrnlive.com. Be sure and rate and review the show on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Follow us on Spreaker. Dominic Frederick, he'll be back next week. Promise. In the meantime, it's time for the song of the day, coming to us from the United Kingdom. Here's a little Hell's Bells.
Cause they're going crazy. This is
is none other than Mr. Bo Keister. How are you doing today, Bo?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing great myself. Let's dive right into it. Let's talk about the Hillbilly Horror Show.
Oh, yeah, I love talking about Hillbilly Horror Show. We got all kinds of great stuff cooking with it. We just completed our 4th volume. First, give you listeners a little background. The idea behind Hillbilly Horror Show is it kind of usually runs about an hour and a half, somewhere in an hour and a half horror anthology. Kind of takes everybody back to the days of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, it's also a way. What you're doing with it basically is showcasing independent screenwriters and directors in the horror genre. You kind of giving them a chance to showcase their work, so to speak.
Exactly. I mean, that was kind of the original concept behind it. My business partner, Blue DeGoye, he and I worked together on House of Good and Evil, and we had been coming up with some ideas for projects that we wanted to do, other feature films and things like that. And he approached me in December about doing Hillbilly Horror Show. And the idea behind it was that we knew so many great filmmakers who had, award-winning, some of them international award-winning short films out there. And he kind of came up with this concept last December and pitched it to me and said, the horror host genre of the industry had kind of died off. And, he said, what if we kind of revive that with a show that kind of Hee Haw meets Tales from the Crypt? If those two got together and had a kid, what would that kid look like? And it ended up being Hillbilly Horror Show. And so basically you got this crazy family of hillbillies, and you've got 4, sometimes 5, horror shorts that have gone out on the festival circuit. They've done, some great runs. They've won award on top of award, both domestically and internationally, but just some really solid work from solid filmmakers who, we wanted to give them a chance to get some exposure. And, we knew so many of them, it just kind of fell into place. And we're on our 4th volume. We just completed our 4th volume. We're getting ready to ramp up for our 5th volume. And as a matter of fact, we're offering all of our awesome fans out there a chance to see Volume 4 online, absolutely free, one night and one night only, October 21st at 8 p.m. East Coast time. All they got to do is go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Hillbilly Horror Show. Look for the event invite on there and click join or I guess going. And the day of the event, we're going to send everybody the link and the password, and they'll be able to log on at 8 p.m. and watch the show for free. And we're doing that as not only just a thank you to our fans, but we're also doing it as a celebration because Volume 1 of Hillbilly Horror Show releases that day on DVD all over the country.
Now, I understand that y'all have found Kim Jong.
We do. We know exactly where Kim Jong-un is. He, they wanted to say it was for medical reasons, and that's why he disappeared. But no, what it is he and Cephas worked out a cultural exchange program. And so Cephas is actually on his way over to North Korea to hang out at the palace, and Kim Jong-un is coming to the trailer and hanging out with me and Lulu for episode 5 of Hillbilly Horror Show. And so, everybody will be able to see the whole backstory on that if they tune in and watch Volume 4 on the 21st.
Let me ask, what is it like working with the likes of Miss Rachel Faulkner, who is actually setting, I guess, Hollywood on fire right now? She's actually featured in Ride Along 2. So, I mean, what's it like working with the likes of her?
I tell you, she is just the most darling person. We love Rachel to death. She's so fun to work with, and she's such a good sport considering what we put her through. Or actually, I guess I should say considering what we put her in. But she is just, she's been a doll. She's so fun. And she just I mean, she gets right in the mix. I mean, trust me right now, Rachel could hold her own, and in this crowd of heathens, that's saying something. But she really just took control of the role. A funny story is when we first cast her, I basically my producing responsibilities on the show mainly involved the cast and handling cast needs and getting everybody, set up for rehearsals before we, film episodes and things like that. And, I also have to handle Rachel's wardrobe stuff. Guys, you're welcome.
Yeah, I was thinking to say thank you.
But the thing is the first conversation that we had to have about it, I mean, I'm an old country boy, and that was going to be, I like to think I got a little bit of Southern gentleman left in me. And so that conversation was tricky. I wasn't sure exactly how to approach it. And Rachel just stopped me and she said, "Bo, relax. I'm a model. I go through this all the time." I mean, she was such a pro. And from that point on, it's like, can we get those shorts just a little shorter? I mean,
yes,
trim like another inch and a half off of those. Is that okay? But Rachel's awesome. She's a great sport.
There wasn't. Was there maybe a Daisy Duke inspiration there as far as her wardrobe goes?
Oh yeah, that was definitely the first thought that came to mind. That and the smoking T-shirt or the smoking tank top. And like I said, she had some, and I said, you know what, we need to trim those just a little bit more, and and you guys see the results.
Yes,
I have
indeed.
done my job and done my job well.
You certainly did. I mean, there's no reason for, any man, if anything, just for the thorough enjoyment of watching Rachel walk around, with, I'm not even going to give it away exactly, but, but just to watch her, it's worth the, I guess, viewing pleasures, so to speak.
Oh, yes. Yes, there is plenty of viewing pleasure on Hillbilly Horror Show. And, and I can guarantee you it's not me and Scott.
Now, what was the let's go back a little bit. When did the acting bug kind of play into your life, so to speak? When did you decide to get into entertainment?
Well, I didn't make the official decision until I was in my early 20s. But I had always grown up with a love for movies and a love of acting. And I had done some acting in high school. I went to college at East Tennessee State, and back then, there weren't a whole lot of acting opportunities there unless you were a theater major, which I wasn't. I was actually a criminal justice major of all things. But it was something that I really wanted to do. I dreamt about doing, and I just figured, you got one shot. You might as well take it. And if it doesn't work out, at least you can look back and say, well, I rolled the dice and I took my chance. And so anyway, I found out at the time Wilmington, North Carolina was a booming film market. This is, the mid-90s. And I went down there and I took a look and talked to a few people and checked things out. And I drove back to Tennessee, loaded all my stuff in a U-Haul, and moved down there a week later. And just dove right into it. And it's worked out pretty well so far.
Yes, indeed. Now, you worked on the very popular Remember the Titans. Can you give us a little insight on what it was like to be on the set there and also working with the likes of Denzel Washington and being among others?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That was just such a loaded cast. Looking back on it now, you're talking about Denzel Washington, Will Patton, Ryan Gosling. You've got, Donald Faison. You've got just this monster cast. And, that was actually only my second speaking role that I had ever had as as a professional actor. And, you're walking out onto this, football field, and you've got 1,600 extras sitting up in the stands. I mean, no pressure or anything, to do your job well. But it was just such an amazing experience. And I mean, I knew the background on the story. My dad had been a football coach for years, and he had actually coached, I think when he was at Virginia Beach High School as an assistant, he coached against one of Herman Boone's teams. Now, of course, this was before T.C. Williams was even formed. But my dad knew the whole background on the film, or, on the storyline behind it. And so I went into that audition so revved up and told the casting director, I've got to have a role in this film. I don't care if it's one word. I got to be in this film. And sure enough, I was fortunate enough to book not only a part in it, but a part that everybody remembers. And, that was just an amazing experience.
You also worked on many things like Killing Kennedys, and also here, 2013, played in House of Good and Evil.
And who knew that would lead to everything it's led?
Right, I guess that was the start, for you in the horror genre.
Well, no, I had done several horror films, but the House of Good and Evil was a real turning point, or I consider it a real turning point in my career, at least from the point of view of, where I really kind of took the reins over my own career. I was still doing other films and things like that, and living here in Virginia, and I was teaching actors on the side. And I had a little studio at that point, and Blue came in to scout some locations for the film, and was looking for several different, necessities, props and different things of that nature. And someone over there who knew about me said, you got to give this guy a call. And so Blue rings me up one day and says, hey, here's what I'm doing. And, I've got this film, and, I checked you out on IMDb. There's a couple of roles in there that you fit that haven't been cast yet. So, if you want to be a part of it, we'd love to have you. And sure enough, I was able to get everything that they needed, and I ended up taking the role of Sheriff Anatuski and got to be part of the film. And then afterwards, Blue and I stayed in touch. We, kind of realized that we work really well together, and kind of have the same goals of where we want to go. And we, just jumped in and said, okay, let's get some other projects going. And so I've continued to help promote House of Good and Evil. And then next thing you know, we are doing Hillbilly Horror Show together. So
you're also working on a lot of different things but as far as featured films and TV, which one would you prefer doing?
Oh man, you know what? Honestly, I mean, they're both kind of their own experience in a lot of ways. I mean, TV, commercial, film, they're all shot a little differently. So there's things to love about both of them. I mean, shooting feature films, especially, if you're doing a strong supporting or a lead role, they're fun. The cast and crew, really become tight knit, like a little miniature family. And, you walk away from that in most cases with, friendships that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And you really can't trade experiences like that for anything else. And on the other hand, some of them, like, commercial work, for example, is just, really quick, and nice paychecks. And, you're done in a couple of days, but, you still, you're still going to meet people. I mean, I don't know how many commercials I've done where, I show up to set and, it's the same crew I worked with, on, two commercials or even the commercial that I did before that. So, it's just one of those deals where, they all have a little something to love. I don't know that I love one over the other, but there is something really cool about doing a feature film, especially when it's a bigger role.
Yes, indeed. Now, you've done a lot of things, but one of the things that you, I guess you can be proud to say you've done was you was in Black Dog with the one and only Patrick Swayze and country music legend Randy Travis. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
That was actually the first film set I was ever on in my life. I moved to Wilmington and started getting to know people in the industry and, had signed up with all the casting offices, because everybody said, well, you start out doing extra work. So I said, okay, that's how you get started, and that's what we do. And I jumped in, and casting director called me up and said, we want to use you for it was actually a featured extra role, as I'd be one of a handful of FBI agents, and in kind of I guess part of the finale scene, or maybe a scene right before that, and so I jumped on it, and next thing you know, here I am on a shipping dock in Wilmington, with Pat Swayze and Charles Dutton and Steve Tobolowsky and Randy Travis, and, all these people that I'd seen a gazillion times, and I'm going, wow. It kind of was one of those hit home moments where you realize, wow, this is real. These people are real. And I got fortunate, in between setups, because some of the setups took quite a while. And I ended up talking to Pat Swayze because where I grew up, he filmed Dirty Dancing 45 minutes from where I grew up. And everybody who grew up in my generation in this area of Virginia, knows Mountain Lake as that's the place where Dirty Dancing was filmed. And, so I struck up a conversation with him and got talking about that, and then got talking about a whole host of other things. And still to this day, no matter who all I've met in this business, Pat Swayze is hands down the nicest person I've ever met on a set.
Did you,
at least as far as celebrities go.
Yeah. Now, did y'all kind of stay in touch after the fact?
Well, no, it was more just chatting and talking about generalized stuff, but still, he was just here he is, just a megastar of the business, and I've had other experiences early in my career where megastars in the business wouldn't dare condescend to speak to an extra. And, he said, he sat there and chatted, like he'd known you forever. And, I just thought, wow, what a just a genuine, nice guy. And he really, really was.
Yes, indeed. Now, coming up, did you have any mentors or anybody that you kind of looked up to as far as the industry is concerned?
Well, I've always had actors that I've admired over the years. Of course, ever since I was a kid, I was enamored with Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. Because he just had this brilliant energy that it didn't matter. He could be in a closet or he could be in Wembley Stadium. It wouldn't matter. His energy was going to take over that space and own it. And so the first stand-up comedy routine I ever saw, I snuck off and watched Robin Williams live from the Metropolitan Theater in New York when I was like 7 years old. And, that I was hooked on what he was able to do. And so I became an instant fan of his. And then, you have actors like, Tom Hanks, who, are just, they can play anything, and you forget you're even watching them. You forget who you're watching, because the character just kind of takes them over. And, so people like that, I've always admired their work, and I've always followed their work. And if there were people I would want to emulate the careers of, it would certainly be someone like Tom Hanks. As far as mentors, I've had a lot of really great coaches, that have, helped me along the way and kicked my butt into gear and they haven't taken it easy on me, and I didn't want them to take it easy on me. I wanted them to make it hard because the business is hard. And if you're going to weather it and survive it, you got to have a coach that's going to, push you and challenge you. And, my first coach, Mick McGovern, I was with him for 3 years, and he was a 35-year vet of the business. And he was kind of like a drill instructor. So he kind of broke me down and built me back up. And, I credit him with a lot of, just the foundation and the principles that I have in the business and the way that I go about handling the business. So I would say if anybody's been a mentor, it would have to be him.
Now, in today's market, or in today's entertainment industry, it's kind of hard to stay, I guess, out of the public eye with your private life. Now, how do you manage to do that?
Well, one, living in Virginia don't hurt. But the thing is, my family, because I've built my career over a period of time, it's something that we've just kind of been able to gradually ease into, especially with my kids. Ever since they were first born, it's not unusual for daddy to be gone for 2 or 3 weeks. And of course, thanks to technology, you're never really that far away, from them. So, they have their little iPods, and I can FaceTime with them, and, they've got little messenger things on there. And so, I'll get, messages from them a good bit, and, which is always a nice little pick me up when you're on the road and gone from home for a while. And, I'm just really blessed with a lot of friends and family that believe in me and believe in what I'm doing, and, are always there to lend a hand, whether it's something as simple as, coming over and helping me film an audition, or, picking the kids up from school, since I'm not there to do it, which helps out a lot. So, I've just been really fortunate in that regard. And then, also, I try to, keep a fairly subdued public image. You see so many celebrities out there nowadays, and it's just, they've constantly got to have attention and everything else. And I'm far removed from their world. I'm not anywhere near their level. But I don't necessarily want to be. I set out in this business to be a working actor, and, to be part of an industry that I loved, and that's what I'm doing. I may never become rich, I may never become famous, but that wasn't necessarily my goal to begin with. Of course, I'll take the rich part if it comes.
Right. Right. Well, before I let you go, get back to your busy day, Mr. Bo, do you have any advice for any young, inspiring actors or screenwriters, or anybody that maybe want to follow in your footsteps?
Oh, absolutely. I tell you, the number one thing, I talk to a lot of, I go around and talk to a lot of the high school theater programs in my area. And I tell these kids all the time, if this is a business you really, really want to be part of, number one, have a fallback plan. Always have a fallback plan, because this business is all about attrition, and it's tough, and it's brutal, and, it doesn't come easy. And at some point you'll get faced with the challenge of, do I stay or do I go? So have a fallback plan, and know what you want to be besides being an actor, and have that in play. And the other thing is, if you're going to do it, go for it. I mean, and by go for it, I mean, don't just walk around saying, well, I'm an actor, when you're not doing the things that you need to do. You got to train. This is a craft. To me, it's no different than, an auto mechanic or a welder. If either one of those people don't train at their craft, they're not going to be able to fix your car. They're not going to be able to weld anything to where it'll hold. Acting is a craft. You've got to learn the craft. So get into solid acting classes, knuckle down, and learn what you're doing. Because there is nothing worse than, an untrained actor walking on set and freezing like a deer in headlights. So get in there and really go after it and train your butt off, because that's going to get you where you want to go a whole lot faster than anything else. And that's exactly what I tell everybody.
Yes, indeed. And to find out more information, I think you can go to hillbillyhorrorshow.com. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, you can watch the first 3 episodes right there if you want to. But if you're one of these people that I don't like watching stuff on the laptop or on the computer, I'd rather be, sitting in front of my TV watching it on DVD. Well, guess what? Now you got a chance, because October 21st, Hillbilly Horror Show Volume 1 releases nationwide on DVD. You can actually pre-order copies right now online, or you can pick up a copy online. We're in tons of retailers, Amazon, Best Buy, Fry's Electronics, Bull Moose, GoHastings.com, Barnes & Noble, Sears, Kmart, Things from Another World, Midtown Comics. Those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head, but we've got, 60, 70 retailers nationwide that are going to be carrying us, and we're adding more every day. Like I said, so go online, pre-order your copy now, and pick it up right there in the store on the 21st, or they'll ship it right to your door. And then, again, October 21st, 8 p.m. East Coast time, tune in and watch the sneak preview of Volume 4. It's our best yet, hands down. No question about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and a lot of really great horror shorts.
Yes, indeed. I know we'll be keeping up with you and the Hillbilly Horror Show. I'll be sharing everything on social media and in the show notes as well. Mr. Bo, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. I really, really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, well, thank you, brother. It's been my pleasure.
I hope to catch up with you in the next couple of months, find out how everything's going.
Anytime, man, anytime. I'd love to come back.
All right, my man. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bo, and we'll see you down the road.
All right. Take care, brother.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.